pornography websites on the internet. 4,200,000 websites. Did you know pornography is a $51 billion a year business? $51 billion. You know who contributes a lot of money to it? Christian men. I got stats that'll blow your mind. The average kid starts watching pornography at 11 years old. Most men will spend $200 or $300 a week or a month on pornography. And some of you know what I'm talking about right now. And you wonder why you don't want to warn people? You can't. You're too caught up in Satan's trap. We got to cleanse our church. We got to cleanse our church and cleanse our lives before we're ever going to get some things done for God. We've had a cleansing. Jesus said, as I am holy, be ye holy. Now, we're all sinners. Man, I sin every day. Good night. Trust me. In the Bible, I preached it last week, and such were some of you. Man, we were all adulterers and all kinds of lost. Don't ever look down anybody. But I'm telling you, preacher, God's called us out of that. And the reason our churches are ineffective, we've got so much of the world. Did you know the average girl has sex by the time she's 15? And the average boy has sex by the time he's 14? You can't believe the statistics on pornography. Did you know the biggest killers, Manson and all the big killers, do you know what they attribute it to? They go back to when they were 12. They stem it back, 100% stem it back, they went to pornography. You know why rape's up over 500%? Pornography. Do you know why men look down on women? Because of pornography. Some of you men want your wives to do things that you see because of the evil pornography. I'm going to tell you right now, Christians, I didn't realize. You told me years ago, preacher, you're in a little circle. And I came from the streets. I really am. I'm glad I'm in that little circle, though I don't want to come out. Because every time I come out, what I see, it terrifies me. We as Christians, we're letting the world die and go to hell, and we're promoting their evil. You got pornography, you got Satan. I've got an above average church. I have above average church. And I'm dealing with people right now that are in my membership, and some of our teenagers that were in pornography. And I'm going to tell you why you're not warning people. You're doing lustful things in the flesh. And when you yield to the flesh, you don't care nothing about the spirit. Jesus said, my words are spirit and they are life. John 6:63. And we're so far away from the spirit. Did you know on your TVs that you watch, the average TV has 15 pornography scenes or some kind of sexual scenes every hour. That means every 4 minutes that your kids and you are watching TV, you're seeing comes on a sexual thing on TV. And I got to go to the next step. And did you know this? Pornography is a great sin, but it's also addicting. There's 2 chemicals in your brain. And someday I'll preach that pornography message if the Lord will let me. And what it does, I know women can get it too, but it's mostly men. And when you look at pornography, there's a chemical that stimulates and gives you a feeling. And that's why you keep going back to it. It's like an addiction. Like you're a heroin, only you're a heroin on pornography. You're an addict. And some of you need to talk to your pastor tonight after church, but you can get set free from it because Jesus will set you free. And you watching on TV, you get a hold of Pastor Teets, Amazing Grace Baptist Church, and they'll show you how to get free from this evil wickedness called pornography. And that's why a lot of people are not warning people about, how can people be warning people about Christ? They're too worried about having sexual fantasies on TV or in the movies. Did you know there's more pornography stations, audio, adult bookstores than there are McDonald's? And I love McDonald's. Number 4, God has called us into intercessory prayer. Number 5, you never warn the wrong person. Boy, I like this. Number 5, you never warn the wrong person. Look at chapter 2, verse 4, Timothy, who have all men to be saved. You know, we were out a few weeks ago, Misty. We were knocking. And actually, this week, we were following up on a bus kid named Joey. And I was knocking on the door for little Joey up in Wyndham. And I went to the wrong house. Can I tell you something? There's never a wrong house. And I knocked on the door and I said, "Oh, I'm the preacher from Bethel. Is Joey here?" He said, "There's no Joey here. We just moved here ourselves. We've only lived here for 2 days." And I said, "Well, let me ask you something then. If you died and stood before God, and he'd say, 'Why should I let you in heaven?' what would you say?" He said, "I don't know." And I said, "Well, would you like to die and go to hell?" See, some of you won't say that because you ain't got enough gumption in you. We're to warn people, warn people. The reason people don't believe there's hell because you don't believe there's a hell. If you really believe there was hell and got down your being and your members, you'd be warning people. Hello? I said, "You know, if you die, you go to hell or heaven, you're going to go to hell if you're not saved." A grown man in his 20s, him and his wife, started crying. He said, "No, I don't know." He said, "No, I'd sure like to know, preacher." Right there, at the wrong door. Boy, I love those wrong. I couldn't wait to get. We had 5 wrong doors. I had 3 people saved that way. So I was so excited. I couldn't believe it. I said, "God, please give me another wrong door." They were in church the next day. We have got people coming. You wouldn't recognize all the new people we have. Hello? By the way, I found out later, Joey lived on the other. He just lived 2 doors later. Then I went to his dad. Didn't get him saved, but last Sunday little Joey and his dad was in church. Can anyone say amen? You see, here's the trouble is. We just don't care enough to go out and talk to people. Hello, I preach faster when you amen. Number 5, you never warn the wrong person. Number 6, if you warn enough people, someone will listen. I love that. Look at Acts chapter 17 real quickly. I've only got one more. Acts 17. If you see, well, preacher, Dr. Gray says, preacher, I think he has to witness to at least 15 people before he gets one. I think his stats are 15 to 1. He's a pretty good soul winner. By the way, you know how you get him to church? Say, "I'll pick you up tomorrow." You go get him. He taught me that. See, we don't say, "Come to our church." Here, we start at 9:30 Sunday school. You start at 10 o'clock, I think. No. Say, "Hey, me and my wife will come by and pick you up tomorrow." Hello? If it's a man, you don't have to worry about your wife. If it's a woman, you got to make sure you have you and your wife, or it'd be good to have you and your wife. I don't think any man should ever be with a woman by himself. Hello? And so, you pick them up. Boy, you'd be surprised after we start bring a few times. They come on their own. You'll see them, I'm telling you. You'll see them. They'll come. They're out there. They're really out there. They're out there waiting for someone to knock on their door and care about them. Thing is, we're so caught up in the world. I like that thing, the love of, to bring a present of love above yourself. That's what we need. Forget about all the presents. Let's bring the present of Christ, the love of Christ. If you warn enough people, someone will listen. Acts chapter 17. Hope I'm not boring you. Verse 30 to 34. And the times that God's ignorance of God, people are ignorant of God.